Breaking news echoes through the air as the events unfolding on the first floor of the tower, known as Babylon, take center stage. The Black Dragon Guild has boldly declared an assault on the tower's 40th floor, boasting of their prowess as a top-tier guild. However, their confidence crumbles as they once again return without achieving their goal. The primary cause of this setback, none other than Flame Emperor, the formidable hunter holding the coveted top rank. Flame Emperor's extraordinary abilities shine once more as he single-handedly defeats the formidable boss on the 40th floor, further solidifying his position as the only individual to achieve such a feat since the tower's inception. A reporter, eager to capture the moment, commends Flame Emperor on his exceptional performance and seeks his thoughts on the accomplishment. However, the esteemed hunter, visibly annoyed, seizes the microphone and expresses his dissatisfaction with being referred to as Flame Emperor instead of his actual name. He dismisses the title as a lousy nickname and vows to find and torment the person responsible for its creation. Meanwhile, Kim Gong-yeol, observing the interview on his laptop, can't help but feel a twinge of envy at Flame Emperor's unabashed self-expression. Shifting his focus to the Hunter Net app on his mobile device, he delves into the ongoing discussions surrounding Flame Emperor, where people are dissecting and debating the latest exploits of this enigmatic and powerful figure. Certainly, here's a plagiarism-free version of the content you provided. The discussions centered on the questionable conduct of the Flame Emperor during the interview, attracting attention worldwide. Speculations about a romantic involvement between the Flame Emperor and the Saintess were also making rounds. Meanwhile, Gong-yeol persistently reiterated his admiration for the Flame Emperor in his messages. As people began to notice the repetitive nature of Gong-yeol's texts, curiosity arose about his identity. Undeterred, Gong-yeol continued expressing his envy for the Flame Emperor's ability to captivate everyone's interest, and the rumors surrounding his substantial wealth. He couldn't shake off the feeling of jealousy, perceiving himself as a mere extra in a world where someone like the Flame Emperor would undoubtedly be the main character. In the midst of this, Gong-yeol's focus shifted to a reporter directing a question at the Flame Emperor. The reporter commended the Flame Emperor for his accomplishments and sought the key to his success, recognizing the admiration of many aspiring hunters. Expressing annoyance, the Flame Emperor reluctantly responded, stating that he would offer only a few words, leaving it to others to decipher. Gong-yeol observed attentively, hopeful to unveil the elusive key to success. Finally, the Flame Emperor emphasized that those destined for success would inevitably achieve it. Certainly, here's a unique and plagiarism-free version based on the provided content. Nevertheless, a solemn warning echoed, cautioning those present against impeding his progress, as any interference would lead to their demise. The Flame Emperor pivoted, departing without acknowledging the reporter's persistent inquiries about his earlier statement. Despite their confusion and frustration, the reporters remained unanswered, and the broadcast concluded abruptly. Gong-yeol shut his laptop, tears brimming in his eyes. A profound sense of anger and resentment engulfed him, questioning the acceptability of someone as esteemed as the Flame Emperor to simply dismiss others. In that moment, Gong-yeol yearned for a skill akin to the Flame Emperor's, believing it would liberate him from the confines of a studio and elevate him from the scorn he faced as the lowest F-class hunter lacking any notable abilities. He aspired to emulate the Flame Emperor's success through his own skills, imagining the wonders of acquiring such prowess. Suddenly, a golden radiance enveloped Gong-yeol's room, capturing his attention. Startled, he gazed upward, recognizing the phenomenon from numerous videos he had watched. The thought crossed his mind, could it be a skill card, a coveted item capable of bestowing unique abilities? In that precise moment, a message materialized before Gong-yeol, declaring an unprecedented envy destined to etch its mark in history. I can certainly help you create original content based on the theme you provided. Here's a new piece for you. The towering structure, gripped by Gong-yeol's unmasked jealousy, granted them an unexpected boon. Gong-yeol, caught off guard by the sudden twist of fate, recalled tales of people receiving messages of encouragement and rewards from the tower. However, this message seemed distinctly unusual. Another notification followed, proclaiming the tower's admiration for his accomplishment. Disregarding the tone, Gong-yeol focused on the tangible result, a skill card. With anticipation bubbling within him, Gong-yeol scrutinized the card, realizing that this moment had been a long time coming since he entered the enigmatic tower. The card radiated a brilliant golden glow, signifying an S-rank skill. Clutching the card tightly, Gong-yeol's eyes widened as a new message materialized, indicating the generation of another skill card. Soon, his second card emerged, and Gong-yeol's gaze was drawn to the description. The skill was named I Want to Become Like You, an S+ rank ability. It promised to activate automatically upon his demise, allowing him to assimilate one skill from his killer, albeit randomly chosen. However, a somber note accompanied the revelation. Using this skill would lead to his own demise. Tears welled up in Gong Yul's eyes as he grappled with the gravity of this newfound ability. He couldn't help but question the nature of such a skill. The tower materialized in the world without warning, a looming presence visible on the horizon from every corner of the earth. The initial explorers were those with nothing to lose, delving into the tower's depths. Each floor harbored otherworldly monsters, a testament to the tower's mysterious origins. Some were selected by the tower, their destinies intertwined with its enigmatic purpose. Certainly, here's a revised version of the content. Endowed with unique skills, the news of Flame Emperor's extraordinary abilities spread like wildfire, attracting a growing number of individuals eager to join the hunt for monsters and pursue their own fortunes. During an interview, one man marveled at Flame Emperor's prowess, recounting a battle where the legendary figure demonstrated mastery over the flame spear. The observer likened Flame Emperor's movements to the graceful dance of Nataraja, the manifestation of Shiva, the god of destruction. Despite achieving the top rank, Flame Emperor maintained a humble attitude, as expressed by the witness. Meanwhile, Gong Yul, during a conversation with a shop owner, expressed a desire to explore something different. When questioned about his apparent lack of enthusiasm for Flame Emperor, Gong Yul clarified that his feelings were unrelated to the legendary figure. Instead, he reflected on the stark contrast between those leading extraordinary lives, like Flame Emperor, and individuals like himself who faced continuous misfortune akin to a game of terrible luck. In a moment of vulnerability, Gong Yul revealed to the shop owner that he had acquired an S+ skill the previous day, but refrained from reporting it to the Hunters Association, fearing that using the skill would lead to his demise. Frustrated and overwhelmed, Gong Yul broke down in tears, expressing the discomfort he would feel if he claimed the skill as his own. The shop owner, recognizing Gong Yul's struggle, suggested he step outside to gather himself. Stumbling through the streets, Gong Yul, grappling with a hangover, found himself ruminating on the rankings, with the dragon at second place and the viper at third. His throbbing head intensified his discomfort. Suddenly, a distant cry pierced through the fog of his hangover, capturing his attention. Intrigued, he focused on a narrow side street, where he witnessed a tense confrontation between Flame Emperor and the Saintess. Certainly, I can help you create plagiarism-free content based on the provided information. Here's a unique rendition. The desperate plea of the Saintess echoed through the air, her voice trembling with a mixture of fear and confusion. The Flame Emperor, in a display of sarcastic admiration for her acting skills, mused about how convincing she would appear to any potential witnesses of their encounter. He then revealed a small bottle, claiming that the drink she had just consumed was tainted with basilisk stomach acid, a deadly substance. According to him, she had intended to poison him. Dismissing the bottle with a casual toss, he expressed relief, attributing his survival to his own skills and expertise, while casting doubt on her intentions. Attempting to defend herself, the Saintess explained that it was all a misunderstanding and expressed a sincere desire to join forces with the Flame Emperor to conquer the tower. The Flame Emperor, however, remained unconvinced, remarking on his initial belief in her sincerity, and how it had proven to be misplaced. Despite her pleas, he asserted his dominance with a smirk, tightening his grip around her throat. Although Gong Yul had always believed in a romantic connection between the Flame Emperor and the Saintess, the current exchange shattered that perception. As the Flame Emperor continued to control the unfolding scene, Gong Yul's heart raced while he tried to comprehend the dynamics at play. It became clear to him that this was not merely a conversation but a perilous clash between two individuals, one driven to kill, and the other desperate to survive. The Flame Emperor, his tone cold and calculated, took charge of the situation, revealing a lie detection skill, and demanding nothing but the unvarnished truth from the Saintess. Certainly, I can help you create original content. Here's a new passage based on the theme you provided. In the shadowy chambers, the Flame Emperor confronted the enigmatic Saintess, questioning her allegiance to the sinister Witch of Black Dragon. A tense silence enveloped the room as the Saintess avoided meeting the Flame Emperor's piercing gaze. Unsettled by her silence, the Emperor's hand radiated a foreboding red glow, a harbinger of his dark intentions. With a cold farewell, the Flame Emperor unleashed a scream that echoed through the air, marking the abrupt end of the Saintess's life. Witnessing the brutality, Gong Yul, once an admirer of the Flame Emperor's heroic facade, was overcome with horror. The hero he idolized had revealed a malevolent side, shattering the illusion. Thoughts raced through Gong Yol's mind as he fled, tears staining his face. He cursed the Flame Emperor as a murderer, a heartless psychopath. Desperation guided Gong Yol's escape until an unintended misstep shattered a glass bottle beneath his foot, betraying his presence. To his dismay, the Flame Emperor emerged, eyes locking onto Gong Yol. Chilling words acknowledged Gong Yol as the last intruder in the vicinity. Fear and anger mingled in Gong Yol's gaze as he stared into the eyes of a remorseless killer. The realization struck him: the Saintess was not the first victim. How many lives had the Flame Emperor extinguished? Tens, hundreds, or more. Gong Yol's world crumbled as he lost his balance and fell, only to discover the horrifying truth at his feet: his own severed foot. The Flame Emperor closed in, wielding a weapon ablaze with fiery power. In a desperate plea for mercy, Gong Yol stammered out his innocence, insisting he had witnessed nothing. The air hung heavy with tension as the fates of the Flame Emperor and Gong Yol converged in a chilling confrontation. The Flame Emperor, intrigued by Gong Yol's unusual reaction, probed him further to uncover the mystery he claimed not to have witnessed. Gong Yol, maintaining his innocence, swore not to disclose anything. Seated beside Gong Yol, the Flame Emperor questioned the apparent contradiction in his words, noting that Gong Yol had addressed him as the Flame Emperor while denying having seen anything. Expressing skepticism, the Flame Emperor remarked that he might believe Gong Yol if he were a complete fool. Fumbling for words, Gong Yol pleaded for confidentiality and mercy. With a sinister grin, the Flame Emperor issued a veiled threat, hinting at dire consequences akin to those suffered by the Saintess if Gong Yol refused to cooperate. He demanded to know the identity of Gong Yol's sender and questioned any potential affiliation with the Black Dragon. As Gong Yol gazed at the Flame Emperor, he couldn't shake the feeling of facing a demonic presence, wondering how the world could be enthralled by such a character. Summoning his courage, Gong Yol reminded the Flame Emperor of his proclaimed lie-detecting skill, and suggested using it to verify that he held no significant information. However, the Flame Emperor, seemingly unaware of such a skill, countered by asking about this supposed lie detection ability, and, to Gong Yol's surprise, inquired if the Flame Emperor had killed the Saintess without evidence. Certainly, here's a revised version of the content. Upon being accused solely based on suspicion, the Flame Emperor vehemently denied any wrongdoing, asserting that the Saintess was plotting to harm him by planning to kill and poison him the following day. Expressing surprise at the Flame Emperor's knowledge, Gong Yol was met with a cryptic response, with the Flame Emperor implying that he had unconventional means of gathering information. Despite the Flame Emperor's initial skepticism, he ultimately believed Gong Yol's innocence. As a gesture of trust, the Flame Emperor placed his hand on Gong Yol's head, and a red glow emanated from his hand. However, the atmosphere turned ominous as the Flame Emperor, whose true name was revealed to be Yu-Su-Ha, chillingly declared that Gong Yol had witnessed too much and must meet his end. Before parting ways, Gong Yol recalled his headmaster's advice, smiling in affirmation of his determination to live up to his name. In a sudden turn of events, Gong Yol found himself at death's door, contemplating the undesirable nature of his impending demise. In the midst of his reflections, a notification appeared, officially announcing his death. Confused and lamenting the circumstances of his life, Gong Yol questioned why he had to meet his end in such a manner. Abruptly, another message appeared, indicating that the skill requirements had been fulfilled with his death. A subsequent message conveyed that Gong Yol had successfully assimilated Yu-Su-Ha's skill in its entirety, resulting in the creation of a skill card. Gong Yol, driven by a relentless yearning for a brighter future, stumbled upon an extraordinary discovery, a luminous gold card accompanied by a message prompting him to select a skill card. Fueled by desperate optimism for a new beginning, he reached out and clutched the golden card. As Gong Yol held onto it, the message indicated the completion of the selection process, signifying the replication of the chosen skill. Abruptly, Gong Yol awoke in his bed, bewildered by the surreal experience. Shortly thereafter, the hum of news from his laptop seized his attention. Shock gripped Gong Yol as he recognized the news unfolding before him, mirroring the exact events he had witnessed earlier. Overwhelmed by these unforeseen developments, he couldn't help but express his disbelief, questioning the reality of the situation. Gong Yol's face contorted with astonishment as he pondered the timing of his return home. Hastily checking the HunterNet chat on his mobile, he discovered that all these events had transpired merely a day ago. It became undeniably clear in his mind that he had faced his demise just moments earlier. In a sudden revelation, Gong Yol invoked two skill cards with a single phrase, "Skill card open." The first card unveiled one of his seemingly inconspicuous rare skills named I Want to Be You. His focus then shifted to the second skill card, contemplating whether he had acquired the coveted Turner's Clockwork Watch, boasting an X rank. Certainly, I can help you create plagiarism-free content based on the provided text. Here's a new and original passage for you. Gong Yul was astounded by the revelation that this newfound ability allowed him to rewind time by 24 hours before facing death. Returning from this temporal journey, he retained all his memories and skills, but the penalties escalated with each advancement in his hunter level. To his dismay, he discovered that this skill had been borrowed from the renowned hunter Yu Suo. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, Gong Yul pondered if this was the legendary power wielded by hunters. The Flame Emperor's sinister motive for eliminating the Saintess became apparent. She had intended to poison him the very next day. Despite his innocence, Gong Yul found himself ensnared in the Flame Emperor's plot, transforming him into an unsuspecting target. His attention shifted to the laptop, where an interview with the Flame Emperor played out. When asked for a key to success in a single phrase, the Flame Emperor cryptically responded that those destined to succeed would, but cautioned against crossing his path, as it would lead to death. Fueled by determination and a thirst for revenge, Gong Yul vowed to determine who would meet their demise this time. Abruptly, his thoughts were shattered by a deafening shout. Outside, chaos ensued as a massive fire raged, and people desperately tried to quell it with water buckets. Stepping into the fray, Gong Yul observed that the place he called home was unlike the outside world, a city formed by aspiring hunters within the tower. Known by various names such as Babylon, First Floor City, and Lantern City, it embodied the same aspiration and purpose, regardless of nomenclature. Upon entering the city, escape became an elusive notion. The metropolis imprisoned its denizens in an unrelenting web of challenges, forcing them to confront perilous situations within the towering confines. Gong Yul sprinted towards the blaze epicenter, glancing at his mobile to find an uncanny synchronization with the time he had been enjoying a quiet drink. A revelation struck him. The Flame Emperor orchestrated the inferno to obliterate any traces of his deeds, plunging the city into chaotic disarray. Leading the charge, the Black Witch, head of the formidable Black Dragon Guild, rallied water-wielding allies to navigate the tumultuous situation. Their objective: douse the flames and aid the beleaguered survivors. Alchemist Kazelin, at the helm of the Healer and Pharmacist Guild, took charge of securing the perimeter. Concern etched on his face, he directed attention to the trapped survivors, emphasizing the urgent need for a rescue team to extricate them from the dire situation. Certainly, here's a revised version of the content. Captain Holy Knight, the leader of the urban vigilantes, assured everyone that the area had been abandoned for the past 5 years, making their mission somewhat easier. Amidst the chaos, Kazelin, a member of the group, became worried about the absence of the Saintess, who was never late, especially during crucial moments. Captain Holy Knight speculated that she might be on a date with the Flame Emperor, as they were often seen together. However, Kazelin expressed her distrust of the Flame Emperor, sensing something unsettling about him. Suddenly, the Flame Emperor appeared and questioned who was meddling with fire without his permission. Captain Holy Knight welcomed the Flame Emperor and sought his assistance in extinguishing the fire that had consumed the old slum area. The Flame Emperor, displaying a selfish demeanor, inquired about the rewards he would receive for helping. Gongya, another member, tightened his grip on his knife, realizing the audacity of the psychopathic Flame Emperor, who demanded a reward for putting out a fire he had started. Captain Holy Knight tried to persuade the Flame Emperor by mentioning the positive recognition he would receive for performing a noble deed. However, the Flame Emperor made it clear that he was indifferent to others' opinions and declared that he didn't engage in community service. Undeterred, Gongya felt a deep determination to confront and eliminate the Flame Emperor. Despite the world viewing him as a legendary figure, Gongya saw through the murderer's facade, feeling a responsibility to kill him for the sake of humanity and the honor of the hunters. As Gongya advanced toward the Flame Emperor, a concerned individual tried to stop him, warning of the impending danger. Ignoring the caution, Gongya pressed forward, convinced that the monster deserved to be defeated, regardless of the personal risks involved. Surprisingly, instead of attacking the Flame Emperor, Gongya walked into the blazing fire, experiencing intense heat and pain throughout his body as he cried out. Certainly, here's a modified version of the content to ensure it is plagiarism-free. The spectator observed in astonishment as Gongya endured the blistering heat. Aware that self-sacrifice was the sole means to vanquish the looming monster, he was taken aback when the notification "You have died" suddenly appeared, followed by another message declaring his return to a point 24 hours earlier. Regaining consciousness, Gongya found himself back in time, facing the breaking news of the Dragon Guild's decision to assault the 40th floor on his laptop. Grateful that his skill had functioned correctly, he noted a message indicating his current hunter rank as F, with no penalties for utilizing the skill. Realizing the impossibility of slaying the Flame Emperor for now, Donghua acknowledged the similarity between their skills, both capable of reversing time by 24 hours. As a low-ranking hunter, he recognized only one viable strategy to pursue the formidable opponent. Fueled by determination, Donghua recollected an interview with the Flame Emperor regarding his awakening. During the interview, the Flame Emperor disclosed that he had awakened during the summer at the age of 21, approximately 11 years ago. Notably, his awakening coincided with his birthday on June 7th. Donghua calculated that the Flame Emperor had awakened 40-50 days ago from the present day. Fully grasping the monumental challenge ahead, Donghua resolved to experience death 40-50 times to confront the Flame Emperor before his awakening. Gripping the knife firmly, he made the grave decision to end his own life. With each death, a message appeared, confirming his demise and the subsequent return to the point 24 hours prior. Certainly, here's a new and original piece of content. As Donghua awoke once again, he found himself facing a daunting task. The knife before him marked the beginning of a mission that allowed him only 49 days to fulfill. Undeterred, he embarked on a repetitive cycle of self-inflicted death, each time catapulting him back in time. With a low hunter rank, he faced no penalties for exploiting this unique skill. The countdown continued, 20 days, then 543. Yet, driven by unwavering purpose, Donghua persisted. His determination bore fruit as the days dwindled, and finally, with a triumphant smile, he realized that the current iteration would be his last. As he braced himself to confront the Flame Emperor, Donghua awoke in his bedroom, scanning the bare wall that once displayed news articles about the formidable figure. Success echoed in the emptiness. He had returned to a time before the legend of the Flame Emperor had been etched into existence. Donghua, exhaling a sigh, acknowledged the toll, 30 deaths beyond the original plan, factoring in the time spent in self-inflicted demise and the intervals of rest. Fueled by determination, Donghua left his room, aware that the moment had arrived to track down his prey. 11 years prior, on May 6th, at 11 in the morning, Donghua observed the Flame Emperor awakening to an annoying alarm. The familiar words escaped his lips, mirroring the Flame Emperor's hangover sentiments. Donghua had meticulously orchestrated this day, replaying it about 10 times for the perfect execution. At 9 a.m., the Flame Emperor would leave the F-rank hunter's apartment, heading to work, expressing discontent with his mundane life. By 3 p.m., he would engage in the routine of hunting slime on the tower's second floor. Donghua discerned the Flame Emperor's frustration and yearning for a more prosperous life, akin to the Sword King. At 21, the Flame Emperor embodied the archetype of an F-rank hunter, eagerly anticipating a turn for the better. Donghua empathized with this desire but understood that change would not come without intervention. In pursuit of the future he had envisioned, Donghua devised a clever plan to conceal his identity. He eliminated a red slime and utilized its viscous residue to cloak himself, preparing for the next phase of his strategy. At precisely 5:31 p.m., the Flame Emperor ascended to the 6th floor, anticipating more formidable challenges beyond mere slime hunting. Recognizing that he would be alone with the Flame Emperor in this area for the next 36 minutes, Donghua steeled himself and approached the renowned player, his body still adorned with the crimson slime's sticky substance. With determination in his eyes, Donghua beseeched the Flame Emperor for assistance, feigning an attack by wolves and claiming to be in urgent need of a curative potion. The Flame Emperor, annoyed by the interruption, scrutinized Donghua and dismissed him, asserting that once engaged with monsters, the day's hunting was concluded. Unyielding, Donghua persisted, pleading for a potion. But the Flame Emperor, frustrated, questioned why he should dispense an expensive potion to an unfamiliar face. Perplexed, Donghua sought forgiveness, struggling to comprehend the situation. The Flame Emperor, expressing his own frustrations, elucidated that meeting daily quotas was already a challenge and providing costly potions for free was not feasible. Donghua attempted to reason, explaining the potion's value at 20 gold from the chemist's guild and offering to pay. But the Flame Emperor, cutting him off, insinuated that Donghua's life was undervalued if he could only afford 20 gold. In an effort to secure the potion, Donghua increased his offer to 40 gold. Sensing an opportunity, the Flame Emperor cunningly smiled and demanded that Donghua surrender everything he possessed. Seizing him by the collar, the Flame Emperor swiftly relieved Donghua of his wallet, confirming Donghua's suspicions about the Flame Emperor's opportunistic nature. Inspecting the contents of his wallet, the Flame Emperor meticulously counted the money, expressing disdain for Donghua's apparent poverty. He questioned Gongya's decision to carry so little money and, with a sly smile, announced his intention to put the funds to better use. Unfazed, Gongya insisted that it was all he possessed. The Flame Emperor, however, remained skeptical and, reaching into his inventory, withdrew a weapon when Gongya requested the promised potion. Fearing potential revenge, the Flame Emperor, revealing concern about Gongya having seen his face, declared that Gongya should meet his demise. Reacting swiftly, Gongya skillfully evaded the attack and countered with a precise kick to the Flame Emperor's groin. Determined not to succumb to the threat, Gongya drew a knife and launched a vigorous counterattack. The Flame Emperor, struck by the assault, crumpled to the ground. Asserting that he couldn't allow the Flame Emperor's awakening to pose a life-threatening danger, Gongya resolved to ensure the tyrant's permanent demise. With unwavering determination, he proceeded to deliver a decisive blow. In a surge of anger, Gongya directed his outrage at Yusua, condemning the pain and suffering inflicted upon countless individuals. Turning away from the scene, Gongya noticed a pack of red wolves nearby, and offered them the opportunity to feast on the Flame Emperor's lifeless body. As the wolves commenced their macabre feast, Gongya continued on his path, clearing away some grass to retrieve his belongings. Changing into fresh attire, he prepared to ascend to the first floor, lingering doubts clouding his mind. Was it truly over? Upon arrival and teleportation to the first floor, uncertainty persisted in Gongya's thoughts. Spotting a patrolling knight, he felt a twinge of fear and apprehension. Walking toward the exit, Gongya and the knight found themselves in close proximity, causing him to tense up. Surprisingly, the knight passed by without any sign of recognition, leaving Gongya both surprised and relieved. Gongya sat in the dimly lit bar, a profound sense of relief washing over him. The truth behind Yusua's actions and Gongya's own act of revenge remained shrouded in secrecy, providing him with closure. He couldn't help but feel a surge of happiness, knowing that the notorious Flame Emperor, Yusua, was no longer a threat in the world. Raising his glass, Gongya signaled the boss for another beer to commemorate his hard-earned victory. The waiter, noticing Gongya's elation, inquired about the success of his hunt that day. Gongya confidently replied, declaring it to be his most successful one yet. With a command, he opened the hunter ability window, revealing his current skills. In the stat window, Kim Gongya's name was displayed, along with his rank and 2 out of 4 available skills. The first skill, I Want to Become Like You, boasted an impressive S+ rating and was listed as passive. The second skill, Returner's Clockwork Watch, held an X rating, also categorized as passive. Despite his admiration for these precious skills, Gongya recognized a lack of offensive abilities. He pondered the inherent human greed behind such desires but reassured himself that with his current skill set, he could still achieve greatness. Contemplating various possibilities for his future, Gongya considered leveraging his abilities to win the Merchant Guild's lottery or selling valuable information about the secrets of the higher floors. Excitement filled him as he envisioned a life transformed. Eager to explore new opportunities, he wondered aloud about his next steps. Just then, an old man entered the bar, capturing the attention of the patrons. The atmosphere shifted as all eyes turned towards him. The old man calmly ordered a drink, a warm milk with a hint of vodka and sugar, expressing a preference for honey over sugar. Despite a customer's hesitation, claiming not to be a bartender, the old man assured him with extra payment, dispelling any concerns. As a conversation unfolded among the patrons, one person noted the authenticity of the old man, while another questioned his presence. Simultaneously, a news broadcast on the TV caught Gongya's attention. The news anchor emphasized the necessity for unity among hunters, especially in challenging times, prompting further curiosity and speculation among the bar's occupants. Gongya's interest in the Sword Saint deepened as he delved into the enigmatic hunter's past. Marcus Callenberry's rise to fame as the top-ranked hunter had been unchallenged until the emergence of Flame Emperor Yasuha. Gongya pondered the nature of Sword Saint's abilities, wondering if they rivaled his own peculiar skill. I Want to Become Like You, an ability that allowed Gongya to replicate the skills of any hunter who killed him. Intrigued by the challenge, Gongya set out to uncover more about Sword Saint's background. His investigation led him to the revelation that Marcus hailed from a wealthy European family. However, the details of his skills remained elusive, shrouded in mystery. One peculiar aspect that caught Gongya's attention was Sword Saint's habit of talking to himself. Speculating whether this was a common trait among top-ranked hunters, Gongya continued his quest for information. This encounter fueled Gongya's curiosity about the true identity and purpose of the Sword Saint, pushing him to learn more about the seasoned hunter. As Gongya delved into the Sword Saint's reputation, he stumbled upon a cautionary article titled "Warning. something you should never say in front of the Sword King. The author recounted an incident where high-ranking hunters, attempting to provoke Sword Saint with trash talk, met a grim fate when they mentioned his grandchildren. This revelation stirred doubt among readers, leading to speculation about the author's motives. Despite skepticism, the author insisted on the truth of the account, warning readers to avoid mentioning the Sword Saint's grandchildren if they wished to escape a similar fate.